Hey everybody, Cody Barnett, Bodyworks Physical Therapy and Concussion Center, and we're here for the grand reveal of the trip, Kathy's trip to Mount Kilimanjaro, and she just got back this week. She's a little jet lagged, but she's anxious to share her journey and tell everybody all about it. So, Kathy, take it away.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about your trip and what it was like.
The trip was amazing. Africa is a very interesting continent. Tanzania is where we went to start our journey to Mount Kilimanjaro. We started in the town of Moshi. We got there on a Tuesday and started hiking on Friday. It was a group of 18 women, and then we had a group of 63 porters and guides that supported us on the trip up the mountain. So
63
porters and guides.
porters and guides.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Wow.
It was a large group of us.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So tell everybody about, of course I've heard the stories, but tell everybody about the ascent, the descent, how long does it take you to get up the side of the mountain, how high is the mountain, all of that stuff.
So it was 4 days to base camp, which was Barafu Camp. It's also called Ice Camp because it's really cold. It's right around 15,000 feet. We got there on day 4, at the end of day 4, after 10 hours of hiking that day. We got into camp around 7:30.
Is there other groups there too at the same time?
There are other groups there
Okay.
at the same time, yeah. We are not the only ones. We got in there around 7:30 and had dinner, and they gave us a briefing on what was going to take place, and then we went to bed at 9, and they woke us up at 1 o'clock so we could start the ascent to the top of Kilimanjaro. So we started in the dark. We hiked for about 5 hours in the dark with our headlamps, and we made it to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro at about 11:30. We could only spend about 10 minutes there. It's just under 20,000 feet, and the oxygen level's about 50%, so they only wanted us to spend about 10 minutes at the top. So we did some quick photos, and then we started our descent. We made it back to Barafu Camp.
It seems like a lot of effort to just get 10 minutes at the top.
Yeah. But it was definitely worth it. The entire journey was incredible. The porters and guides actually sang to us for about 4 hours in the dark.
Wow.
So it was very fun. Yeah.
Now tell about, so it's what, 50% oxygen?
Right. You
At
start
the top.
feeling, like I started feeling the effects of altitude sickness probably around day 3. And I would say most everybody in our group felt some degree of altitude sickness, whether it was headaches or nausea. We were all taking Diamox, which helps with the breathing, but there were a lot of us that had varying symptoms of altitude sickness. So, because the oxygen level's only at 50%, they only want you up there for a few minutes.
Yeah, that's
So,
wild.
Yeah.
And then tell everybody about your descent down.
So during the descent, it started snowing a little bit, and then our group kind of got pretty spread out because everybody was going different paces. I had one guide with me, and she and I got pretty separated from the rest of the group, and it started snowing really, really hard. So it made the descent a little more challenging because we couldn't see very far ahead of us, and things were getting a little slippery. But we made it into camp, and then we were allowed to eat lunch and change if we wanted to, and then start our more of a climb down. So we got down to about 12,000 feet that day.
Wow. So your total time hiking up and hiking down on
I think we
that day
spent
was what?
16 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
16
that's
hours.
aggressive, hard climbing
Yeah.
too.
It was a hard climb.
Yeah. I had the benefit of talking to Kathy a couple days after she got back. She's all smiley and happy today, but she wasn't quite so smiley 2 days after. So in fact, one of our patients asked, did you have a good time?
Yeah, it was hard, and then the flight back was pretty grueling. So when I got back, I was actually, I think, pretty jet lagged. So it was a fantastic experience. It was just really, really hard. So yeah.
Yeah, it was really hard.
It was hard.
Yeah. And then tell everybody, we talked a little bit about it on your first video, but you were having some foot problems.
I was, yeah.
Leading into the trip. Tell us about how that went for you. Were you able to deal with that?
So I have Morton's neuroma in my foot, and Cody made me some orthotics, which were extremely helpful. I used hiking boots that had a nice wide toe box, and I was very conscious of how I was placing my foot when I was hiking. So for the most part, it didn't bother me up until we did the summit, and then I think it was just so much time on our feet that it started to hurt.
Yeah.
Pretty good that day.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And then now that you've been back, how is it doing?
It's doing very well.
Okay.
Doing very well.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
Good deal. Okay, so and your whole remind me again how much. So you hiked 4 or 5 days to get to base camp, and then the hike. So what was your total number of hiking days that you did?
We did 6 days. They switched our route. We were supposed to do the Umbwe route, which is the hardest route. And they had taken another group up the week before, and not as many people made the summit. So they changed the route, and we did the Machame route. And it's recommended to do it in 7 days. We did it in 6. So we did 4 days, 4.5 days up, and a day and a half down.
Wow.
So
Some hardcore stuff.
Yeah.
It's way cool. Way cool. All right, so Kathy, we're really proud of you.
Thanks.
Tell for everybody watching, not everybody's gonna either want to or will climb Mount Kilimanjaro. So, but for somebody that's wanting to do something different, they're wanting to do something that's hard for them, whatever that might look like. What advice? What did you learn over the last several weeks and months? What did you learn on the actual trip? What advice would you give for people?
I would say if you have something hard that you want to do, whether it's starting an exercise program or running a 5K or climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, just make up your mind that you want to do it, and understand that the path might not be linear. You might not always have great progress. You might have some setbacks, but that doesn't mean it's not going to happen for you. And just don't give up.
Now you had a couple of other helps that you told us. I'm going to make you repeat them. When you were training, you trained with your friend.
I did. I trained with my friend Jennifer.
And so you had a buddy.
Mm-hmm.
You had a buddy to help spur you
yes.
on. And then you also had your friend that's in Colorado.
I did. Yeah.
So you had a nice little community and network of people to.
I did. Yes.
Help
I had a lot of support at home, here at Bodyworks. So I would say, find people that are in your corner. You'll be surprised at the people that you find in your corner that are willing to just encourage you and support you.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
So.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing your story.
Absolutely.
Everybody's been asking and emailing and wondering how Kathy's doing, if she made it back, and
I did.
how she is. So thanks for sharing your story
Absolutely.
with everybody. We've really enjoyed living vicariously through you. And so thank you for doing that. And we're going to post, so if you want to see some photos from Kathy's trip, we're going to post them below. So click on the link below. You can take a look at some photos. We'll include a link there. And then if you need any help, if you're trying to do something hard and need a little bit of help, we can help you with that. If you maybe have an ache or a pain or something that's keeping you from being as mobile or active as you want to be, we can help you with that. And we're at bodyworksphysicaltherapy.net. Our phone number 316-558-8808. And until next time, thanks everybody for watching.